Okay, picture this. We're traveling back more than 2,000 years to the ancient city of Pataliputra. This kingdom is fabulously wealthy, incredibly powerful, but it's just simmering with resentment. It is the perfect stage for one of history's greatest stories of strategy, revenge, and, the ruthless politics of building an empire.
So that brings us to the big question. How do you actually topple an established dynasty, not from the outside, but from within? I mean, it seems like an impossible task, right? But this story, oh, it's a masterclass in exactly that. It's a political chess game where literally every single move is a matter of life or death. So let's dive in.
Our story really kicks off with the Nanda dynasty, ruled by King Sarvathasidi. Now, he's got two wives. One is of royal blood, and the other, Mora, is a courtesan. And this division, right at the very top of the royal family, creates this deep, dangerous fracture that's about to tear the whole kingdom apart. And that one division creates the entire conflict. On one side, you've got the nine princes, the Navanandas. They're the legitimate heirs born to the queen, but honestly, they're entitled and not the sharpest tools in the shed. Then on the other side, you have Maurya. He's the only son of the courtesan. He is brilliant, a master strategist, a great warrior, but he is completely overlooked. And here's our first big lesson in strategy. The greatest weakness of any power structure isn't some threat from the outside, it's the cracks inside that everyone's ignoring. Every great game needs a great opponent, and in this story, that's Amatya Rakshasa. The thing is, he's not evil, not at all. In fact, his defining quality is this fierce, unshakable loyalty. But, and this is so important, his loyalty isn't to the king, it's to the Nanda dynasty, the bloodline, and that makes him incredibly dangerous to anyone who threatens it. So the pieces are on the board, and the political maneuvering begins. But what starts as a game of influence and whispers, well, it escalates fast into a truly brutal act of violence that sets the stage for an incredible story of revenge. Maurya, who is just tired of being pushed aside, decides to make his first move. He cleverly goes to each of the nine princes, one by one, and whispers in their ear, encouraging every single one of them to claim he's the eldest, and therefore the true heir. And it works. Perfectly. The whole court is thrown into chaos. But the one person who isn't fooled is our shrewd minister, Rakshasa. He sees Marya's fingerprints all over this and knows he's got to be dealt with. So Rakshasa's countermove is, wow, it's as brilliant as it is horrifying. He builds this special hall underneath the palace, invites Maurya and his 100 sons to what they think is a feast, and then seals the doors from the outside, bricking them in. Inside, there's just enough food and water for one person for a few days. It's a death sentence, plain and simple. Trapped in there, Maurya has to make this absolutely devastating choice. He convinces his other sons to sacrifice themselves to give all the food and water to the youngest, the most capable one among them, so that one of them might survive to avenge the family. And that one survivor is a young man named Chandragupta. Right around this time, a completely different character enters the scene. A brilliant but very poor scholar named Chanakya arrives at the Nanda court. The arrogant princes see his humble clothes and just publicly humiliate him. In a flash of rage, Chanakya unties the traditional knot in his hair and makes this terrifying vow. He will not tie it again until the entire Nanda dynasty is wiped from the face of the earth. And this is where destiny, or maybe just fate, steps in. The lone survivor, Chandragupta, who is just filled with grief and rage, crosses paths with the brilliant scholar Chanakya, who is burning with this fire of humiliation. Their shared need for vengeance forges one of the most powerful alliances in history. A brand new, and much more dangerous, game is about to begin. Okay, so the alliance is formed, and now Chanakya, the kingmaker, puts his master plan into motion. And this isn't just a rebellion. Oh no, this is a meticulously crafted strategy designed to dismantle an empire from every possible angle. Chanakya's plan is this incredible, four-pronged attack that targets every level of the empire at the same time. First, infiltrate. He gets a spy into the court disguised as an astrologer to win the Nanda's trust. Second, isolate. He uses that spy to neutralize the Nanda army's generals, convincing them not to fight. Third, invade. He secretly makes an alliance with a rival kingdom to attack from the outside. And finally, assassinate. He launches the whole coordinated attack during a festival, when the capital's defenses are at their absolute lowest. I mean, it's a masterclass in attacking not just the body of an empire, but its mind and its spirit. And the plan? It works flawlessly. The Nanda army just stands down, the city is caught completely by surprise, and in the battle that follows, Chandragupta personally kills the 9 princes who wronged his family. In a single night, the Nanda Empire is shattered and Chandragupta seizes the throne. But here's the thing, taking the throne is one thing. Holding on to it, that's another beast entirely. The loyal minister, Rakshya, has escaped, and now the final, most dangerous phase of this conflict begins. A deadly chess match between the 2 most brilliant minds in the entire kingdom, Chanakya and Rakshya. So Rakshasa is out there, a fugitive, plotting his revenge from the shadows. He starts setting up these incredibly intricate, deadly traps for the new king, Chandragupta. So the question for Chanakya is, how in the world do you counter a brilliant enemy's every single move? Chanakya's answer is elegantly simple and totally ruthless. You don't just disarm the trap, you turn it back against your other enemies. So for example, when Rakshasa sends a beautiful poison maiden to kill Chandragupta, Chanakya, who already knows about the plot through his spies, just redirects her. She has her marry one of Chandragupta's ambitious allies, and boom, a rival is eliminated. When Rakshasa rigs a mechanical gate to collapse on the new king at his coronation, Chanakya just sends a different rival noble in his place. Chanakya's genius is that he never just survives an attack, he uses its energy to take other threats off the board. Chanakya realizes he can't just keep countering plots forever. To truly secure the empire, he has to neutralize Rakshasa permanently. But he knows force isn't going to work. So he comes up with one final psychological gambit. And here's the crucial insight. Chanakya understands that the very thing that makes Rakshasa so dangerous, that unwavering loyalty, is also his greatest weakness. The final plan isn't a battle of swords, it's a battle for Rakshasa's soul. So, Chanakya arrests Rakshasa's best friend, a merchant named Chandanavasa, for sheltering Rakshasa's family, and he sentences the man to a public execution. This forces Rakshasa into an impossible choice. He can stay loyal to his dead Nanda masters and let his innocent friend die, or he can save his friend's life, which means he has to surrender. This final move brings our whole epic story to its incredible conclusion. Cornered not by an army, but by his own conscience, Rakshasa has to make a choice that will decide the future of the entire subcontinent. At the execution grounds, just as his friend is about to be killed, Rakshasa appears. He surrenders to Chanakya, and he agrees to serve Chandragupta as prime minister, in exchange for his friend's life. In the end, his loyalty to a living friend wins out over his loyalty to a dead cause. And this right here reveals Chanakya's ultimate lesson in power. True victory isn't about destroying your rivals. It's about absorbing their strengths into your own. He didn't just defeat his greatest enemy, he recruited him. With Chandragupta as emperor, Chanakya as the master strategist, and the brilliant Rakshasa as prime minister, the new Mauryan empire becomes this unstoppable force, unifying the nation and kicking off a golden age. But this whole story leaves us with a really profound question, doesn't it? Chanakya's methods were brutal, they were manipulative, they were bathed in deception, and yet they created one of the greatest empires in history. So it forces us to ask, in the high-stakes game of nations and power, is there a line between genius and monstrosity? Or do the ends, a strong, stable empire, always justify the means?